Right, good morning, Green Group. We are going to go ahead and get started. We are now on to Chapter 3. We're going to start talking about algebraic expressions and equations. And we're going to start off with a bunch of vocabulary. So this is a brand new chapter, so we have lots of fresh vocabulary we need to go over. But first we need to go over our I can statement, your purpose statement. So it says, I can evaluate algebraic expressions. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to evaluate algebraic expressions, meaning you're going to plug in a number and solve an equation. So we have a good 5 new vocabulary terms. Our first vocabulary term says, and blank is an expression that contains numbers, operations, and one or more symbols. That is an algebraic expression, which is right here. That's our new vocabulary term. An algebraic expression is an expression that contains numbers, operations, that would be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, and one or more symbols. Okay, and that might mean like an X, like a variable, a Y, might mean some other examples as well. So we're going to go through a few examples. Next vocabulary term says a blank is a part of an algebraic expression, and that's called a term. So a term is a part of an algebraic expression. The next one, a blank is a symbol that represents one or more numbers. That is called a variable, which I just talked about here, and that's like an X or Y, a letter inside of it. So now instead of just working with numbers in math, we're also adding letters in. So it's going to be really fun. You better be ready. The next vocabulary term is a blank is a numerical factor of a term that contains a variable. That's called a coefficient. Kind of a big word. A coefficient is the numerical factor of a term that contains a variable. So that means if it's like a 3x, this is your coefficient. And last new vocabulary term is a blank is a term without a variable, so that would just be a number. Anytime you just have a number, that is called a constant. There's a whole bunch of new vocabulary terms when you think of term, variable, coefficient, constant, but here's really what it means. I'm going to slide this up. What this means is that if you have 5x plus 8, your 5 is your coefficient, that's the number that's with the variable. Your variable is the letter, because we're adding letters now. And your constant is the number that's just by itself. And it says the variable by itself has a coefficient of 1. That's super important. So if you just see an x by itself, it really is the same thing as saying 1x. Okay, so 1x or x is the same thing. Little step-by-step guide and notes today says 4x is equal to 15 when x is 5. Very important. When x is equal to 5, we want to solve it. So what this looks like is we put this 5 right in for x. If it's equal to x, we take the x out and we put the 5 in. So we substitute it. Remember, if there's a substitute, a teacher is gone. So if I substitute a number in, the variable is gone. Okay? So I substitute the 5 in right here. So now 4. Now, since there's no operation shown, that means it's multiplying. So I'm going to do 4 times 5, then I have that minus 15. So the same exact equation, rewritten with the x value inside. So then I solve it. I'm solving using order of operations, so 4 times 5 is 20, minus 15, and my answer would be 5. Now, there's also a little bit of a simplifying if you have exponents. Remember, exponents have variables with that little tiny number at the top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 variables. So I have 20 plus h to the 4th. Okay, so again, that's h to the 4th keep my 20 by itself, but I have all of these that are the same, so I can clump all of them together. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to simplify an expression, and also how to solve it. So we're going to go to our examples here. So this says, solve these questions when x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 5. So this one, we have x plus 3. Now my x is my 3. So now instead of having x, I'm going to have 3. So I'll have 3 plus 3, because I still have this 3 here, and that would equal 6. Next one, my variable is y. I have a y is equal to 5, so I do 5 minus 2, because I put that 5 in for the y. 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. Next one, I have x and y. Now again, there's no operation, there's no sign here to tell me what operation it is. So then I know it's multiplying because it's right next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take x times y. And I'm going to plug in my variables. So my first one is x, which is my 3. So I'm going to go 3 times my y, which is 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. Good. For number 4, I have x to the second, so I have a little 2 right here. It's a variable. See that? Now my x is 3, so I'm going to take 3 to the second plus 5. Remember, variable x is 3, so that's why 3 is here. Still keep that 2. 3 to the second is really 3 times 3. So that's 9 plus the 5 is 14. And you can do that in your calculator as well. So you can always go 3 to the second. 3 squared, and then I'm going to follow my equation and add 5, and I should get 14. Okay, so you can do the same thing in your calculator. This next one is similar to our step-by-step that was down here. So remember this. We're doing the same thing here. So we have 3.5 times n, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, n to the 4th. So this one is 3.5 with n to the 4th. Okay, and that's it for that. Okay. So for your bonus problem, I'll do it right here. You are going to try to solve for me 3x plus y. So you're going to put x in, then you're going to put y in. So 3x plus y. So 3 times the x value, and then you're going to, after you do that, you're going to add the y. So go ahead and pause it, solve that, and raise your hand just before you can go on. I want to check that answer before you can keep going. Alright, you should have already raised your hand, gotten checked with that answer, and you should be set. I should have given you the go-ahead to go on to example 2. If I did not, you need to stop the video and raise your hand until I can come by and check your answer. For example 2, it's a story problem. So it says you worked 8 hours this week and made X dollars per hour. And you received a bonus of $15. So if you receive a bonus, you're really just getting an additional $15 added to your check. Okay, so this equation says write the expression and find how much you earned if you made $8 per hour. So right here, we still don't know how much we make. It says we worked 8 hours. And remember that for per hour, X per hour, that means multiply. So it's going to be 8x plus 15. That gives me just my equation of what I need to make, just the equation to figure out how much money I made. Now it says I made $8 per hour. That's really my x value. So I do 8 times 8 plus 15 because I'm plugging that 8 in for the x. And you can again use your calculator if you don't know these. 8 times 8 plus 15. We would have made $79. Alright, and that is it for today. Okay, that is all I'm having you do for today. Make sure that you complete your bonus question and you have all of your notes complete and you raise your hand. Once you have that all done, then I will come around and check you off and then you may go on to your homework. Alright, nice job.